Is it episode 52? 53?
Yeah. Is it 53?
54? Something, I think it's 54.
I thought it was 52, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe it's
So that's
probably
why I've put
52.
that's why I've put 52. I
Damn,
was
that's
like, maybe
crazy.
it's 50, 51. I'm not too, 51 was the last episode, I
You're
think, that
probably
we
right.
had.
I feel like I should never challenge you on numbers at all.
on num- on the numbers. I'm actually looking it up now because I'm like, what actually are we on? We are on 52. We're on
Okay, sweet.
52. We've
You're
got it.
great.
But we're all here. But welcome back, guys. It's been a while. It's been exactly 3 weeks since our last podcast.
Okay,
So,
not bad. I thought it
no,
felt
it's not
like
bad.
3 months. It's okay. I felt like it was 3 months. Hi.
It felt longer. It felt longer. I think, like we said before, I think this rest was just needed because, which we'll go into it today anyway, but I feel like it was just needed. We needed to kind of have some time, downtime, our own space to do our own thing and stuff like that. But we're back. We're back better than ever. So I'm excited. And this one is in prep now. So I'm excited to ask her all the fun questions every week and be like, right, how's everything going? How are we all feeling? Having our little therapy session each week. That's what we love.
Oh my God, girl. I want to be on your side so much right now. Like I want to be the stage mom. But no, I
Oh,
mean, we're back on the pod. I want to tell you guys that that was not organized for us to
no.
have an actual break. It was we actually okay, listen, we actually tried, but we didn't try really hard because we were both not really ourselves for the last couple of
No.
weeks. And I don't want to go into that because now it's very much past us. And we've discussed it a little bit on Patreon, like how we were feeling about, respectfully, fuck perfection. And we said it and we keep on saying it. But both of us are very happy to be back on the pod. We both had great weeks. We kind of catch up a little bit before this episode. So what do you want to catch up on today, my little Phoebes? It's Sunday for
Yeah.
you. You're almost done with your day. I'm almost starting
Yeah,
with my day.
you're pretty much starting the day. It's 7 o'clock at night for me right now, so it feels weird when I'm like good morning, but also good evening for me. So it's like so strange. But no, I
What
mean
have you
it'd
what
be
have you
nice.
done today? What have you done today?
Not a lot, if I'm honest. Like I've just caught up with some like work, kind of gotten ready for the week ahead, and I'm usually using Sundays as kind of like my reset days now, where I'm kind of like, okay, sounds really silly, but like it's the last day of my like, when do you have like a pill box where you put all your pills in and like it's all organized from like Monday to Sunday?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. Well, I do. So it's like I finished my like pill box. I kind of reorganized that, and then I like restock the fridge, go shopping, like kind of like do like little
Beautiful.
things like that. So
Love
it's like a
it.
little reset day. So like for Monday when we start, obviously tomorrow, it's kind of like a new week, and it just feels like organized.
Love
But
it.
no, apart from that, we've had quite a chilled weekend, which has been quite nice. Not as much work, which has been good. So, and if I'm honest, that was scheduled for me because I was like, I feel like I've been very, very high with work, which has been good. But I kind of make sure that I'm organizing like some either weekends or like weekdays where I just don't do much. Because again, it's like taking into account where we've pushed ourselves far and far and far, done loads and loads and loads, and I'm like, right, I need to give myself some days where I don't do anything, which I always still feel it's still hard to get used to, just not doing anything and just relaxing and just chilling. But I've really actually like started to enjoy them a lot more now.
That's really cool because is right now your schedule have availabilities like every day, like from 8 to 9, you open your full schedule, like Monday through Sunday, and you just wait to people to book you, or do you actually have like block off day that okay, this day and that day I'm off completely?
Yeah, so I know what days I'll be off, which is quite nice. So obviously I'll schedule in each week like this. These times are available, and then I'll have some days that are fully. They're like completely can't even book on those days. So that's nice. So usually this, obviously, like I said, this week was like Sunday, so that was pretty good. So it felt nice to just be completely nothing going on. So that was good. And then yeah, apart from that, it's been pretty like chill this week. I think, like I said to you before, this has been my first week where I've started to fully fully just feel myself again, which is really, really nice. Like I think from generally, honestly, from like Monday all the way through till Sunday, I felt like that kind of, I don't know, like that. I didn't get that kind of feeling where I was like, oh, I'm exhausted today, or I'm this today. It just throughout the whole week, I felt I've woken up, I've gotten into my routine, I've got, my shit done. Everything was just clicking the whole week, which feels really,
Nice.
really good again. Like I think when you lose it, all you want to do is feel like that again. So it's like just waiting for that feeling to kind of like come back, and you could be consistent for so long and it just not still feel like it's clicking. And honestly, from like last Monday onwards, it just clicked, and I've just been like, right, let's just run with it and like just go with it because it feels really good. So let's just keep it going. So yeah, this has been a very successful week for me, which I'm really happy with. So yeah,
Yay. Successful
yeah,
week, successful week. It just gives a tone for the next week, but we're also
yeah,
allowing ourselves some grace of like, being tired and hormonal
yeah,
and old and shit. So,
yeah.
you tell me like how does it look like for you to have your ish together? Is it just like kind of a
Yeah.
mood thing? You felt like the weather was good, so like you like woke up kind of like motivated and like the discipline came easy, or you kind of like organized your stuff, you were like disorganized? Like how do you feel like you were more yourself? Like what comes to your mind when you say
The,
everything clicked together?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing was like the want to do things again, like the
Okay,
want to train, the want to be organized, the want
dope.
to like make meal prep and all these things that we're so used to. So like chasing what we're used to is just like that's just that becomes the norm. But when you don't want to do that anymore, you're like, okay, cool, what do I do? Like every time you like, I don't know, the feeling of wanting to do something is that's what I was wanting. Do you know if that makes
Wow.
any sense?
No,
Like
hell yeah.
instead of it being like I have to do this or I have to do that, it was like I just felt everything felt like a task all the time. Like and every time I
Yeah.
was consistent with things, I could have been doing the same thing for weeks and it wouldn't have changed. I still would have been like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like there just was no drive to want to do certain things that I knew I needed to do to get me to, where I want to be. But now the want to do all those things has come back. Like the want to go to the gym, do cardio or train or whatever has come back. The want to like, I don't know, be organized or, go and see my friends and all the smaller things has like, it's all come back this
Aw.
past like week and a half. So it's
Hell
just felt
yeah.
really nice to have that again. And I think to
Yes.
anyone that has lost that, I'll definitely say like I felt it start to come back when I was patient with myself a bit more, like giving myself a bit more patience, because I think when I wasn't feeling great, I was getting upset and pissed off and frustrated, and it just made it worse. And I think sometimes you just have to be patient and just keep. Obviously, it sucks to feel like that, and there's nothing you can do sometimes to help it, like be better. But you just have to be patient and wait for that feeling to come back and keep being consistent with all these things. And yeah, over time it will start to feel better. So yeah, it's been a really nice week this week. It's felt really like nice to just have myself back. So
Babe,
yeah,
this is
yay.
amazing. This is
So
so
yeah,
great. I'm so happy for you. This is amazing. Like I think there's nothing that makes you glow more when you're obviously aligned with yourself and what you want and you actually execute what you want. Like that's the perfect thing. Like you know what you want, you go after what you want, you do what you want, and then you're accomplished. Like so I think that's how you seek and achieve like feeling of accomplishment and achievement. So so happy for you. That's a hell of a week. Yeah.
thank you, my girl.
Hell yeah.
It's been a good week. It's been a very, really
That
good week. So I'm
honestly,
very
that
happy
came
with that.
back quick. That came back quick, and it makes me look back on like the past 3 weeks, which I really thought it was more than 3 weeks to be honest.
Yeah,
But the fact that we were able to do that, it looks almost fast paced because I
yeah,
feel that sometimes it could take like years for people to actually go back to do something that they want and um yeah, sometimes it can take a lot longer, but I feel that
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason. Like the fact that we had kind of a break, we were kind of like in sync with our feelings and stuff, and then
yeah.
you live, you went through what you went through at the house and not traveling and not like all of these decisions and these choices kind of like make sense now for you to feel like that again. So I'm so happy for you because my
Yeah.
God, yeah, it's gonna be a great week ahead for
Yeah,
sure.
it just feels nice when when you get to that point where, and I think for me, I don't think I felt myself for a while, in terms of like even in prep and stuff like that, when I really, because I've been analyzing kind of like how I actually felt in prep and all that type of thing, and I don't think I fully felt myself in certain areas in prep from like February onwards. So I think from looking at like that transformation that I've had with my mind and just how I've even just how I've been, I feel I can start to feel my just normal self coming back, which is just good. So I feel like I haven't felt like that for since like the beginning of the year, if I'm honest.
Wow.
So I think it's exciting to kind of feel like that again, and it's going to be nice to see what the rest of the year kind of how it kind of comes out and how it brings out everything else really, because I feel like
Yeah.
that really does help everything else that you do around you. Like when you feel yourself, there's just so much more stuff you can achieve versus just being kind of that like go 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 mode and just kind of ignoring those feelings. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. It feels good to be back. That's my main thing really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
feels
To
good.
circle that again about doing what you want and bringing that out of yourself. I think there's such a difference with a cardio session, for example, like just bring it back into bodybuilding for a little bit, like a cardio session that you do as a task and a cardio session that you actually want,
Yeah,
are going to be two different cardio session. And like,
yeah,
I'm not a scientist. I know there's I don't know even know if there's a study about it, but I'm sure for a fact that you would probably waste more calories and more, like your expenditure, even though you're on the same, let's say 3.5 incline, 3.5 speed on both. But you have a want and you have versus like a task feeling inside of you.
I know
I could,
exactly how you feel.
I could bet like money on it that you expend more calories like wanting to do cardio.
Yeah,
So like whenever people are asking me like, oh, do you do fasted cardio? I'm like, I do fasted cardio if I want to, and sometimes like it does fits really well in my schedule, and it actually makes me want to do it because then I can like it drives my hunger, and I get my breakfast as a treat, and like this whole like vibe of like wanting to do things. It's very psychological, but it's also
it's
like things that
so different.
it's so different, and like it's so important within prep. And that's always the first thing that I also tell people, like one of the first things, because I say a lot of things, but your why needs to be so big, and that the how is easy. And because the how is going to be easy if you actually want to do it. So it's like the whole triangle thing. Like it's a whole triangle situation where like the why, the how, the want like comes like all in sync together. I don't know why this pop up, but so you wanting to do things, and it just brings another aura into your life, and it brings like all the relationship into a different situation. So you've removed yourself from some kind of like the podcast a little bit. I remove myself from the podcast, like in all honesty. Like I remove myself from relationships sometimes because I just didn't want to do it. Like there was just no.
Yeah,
So being authentic about the relationship that you have in your life with what you want and what you don't want is the most honest thing that you can actually do. So I'm glad that we both respected ourselves throughout this journey of like wanting to do things again. So the
yeah,
podcast is going to sound different than if we were to do it like 3 weeks ago,
yeah,
as just like a task, or just as like, oh, we need to keep up on the commitment that we've been doing. It's
yeah,
not that deep. Like the deeper thing is wanting to do the podcast or wanting to do the things. And it's not like we
yeah.
didn't want it. Like it's like, oh my God, I don't want to
No,
do it. Like with the anger and stuff, it just didn't come
naturally.
as natural as the first one that we did. The first time that we did was so natural, so like enthusiastic. Like we wanted that to happen again, and
Yeah,
it just we let that happen. So we're enthusiastic about being back again, and
Yeah. And it feels
so
good. But I
yeah, it
think
does.
I like that analogy that you kind of said about the want to do things. And don't get me wrong, I think in some times, especially when it comes to prep, like if you want to do the difference between wanting to do something and having to do something, most of the time you have to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like those are the things that you kind of have to execute when you're on a prep sometimes. But I think when it came to just life in general, it was like I don't want to have to do it if I don't want to do it. You know, like I want to have that feeling like drive to want to train and like really want to meal prep and do my cardio and this is I don't want to have it to feel like a task anymore. And
Yeah.
I love that how you said about that cardio thing where it's like I remember in 2022, I couldn't wait to do my cardio. I was like, let's go, like jumping on the treadmill, jumping on the Stairmaster and like busting my ass and doing it. And it being like a smile on my face and it being
Yeah.
like proper, like, let's go, loving it. And then I remember there was barely any of those sessions kind of within this prep within 2024. There was a lot more slow cardio sessions and like, fuck, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Which don't get me wrong, you'll get those up and downs. It's not always going to be like, oh my God, I want to do cardio, I want to do this. But it, like you said, it makes a huge difference when like the want overtakes everything else. You're just like, let's go,
Yes.
let's do it. And it's the energy you have within that session, cardio session, even making your meals, whatever. It's that feeling that I just wanted back, and it just feels good to have that back again. So yeah, it feels good. It feels very, very nice.
Yay. I
So
love
yeah,
it. I love it.
but how have you been getting on? You've obviously started prep. You are. I'm
Yes.
literally so excited for you as well because
Oh,
I love that I'm kind of taking a step back and I can fully actually have all my energy just on you and just be like, right, how are you feeling? How's things getting on? All that type of thing, and just really. I love being stage mom. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if you get that feeling as well sometimes where sometimes you like stepping back and you just like watching others do what they need to do. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's
1000%.
so much enjoyment for me. So yeah, how was obviously you've started prep now. You've started prep now. Is it 18 weeks out this weekend?
17 weeks
17.
out. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And how do you feel with starting prep and stuff like that? How does everything feel at the moment?
So this week was week one,
Yeah.
like, week one of prep more officially. And, I'm going to check in tomorrow. I don't know. I feel really good. I feel really, really good. Very calm. I don't really know what to say. I know it's going to be a process, to
Yeah.
like do everything, but we have a little bit of a different plan this time around, and it's very in
Nice.
sync with what I have in mind with my physique right now, because I do feel that I know my body the best.
Yeah.
And Kim and I, we have this dynamic right now that is so rock solid that it's kind of like he listens, he hears me out, and we just work in sync. So like there's something very special about this prep right now where I feel very alone, but in the best way possible. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very unique feeling where I'm not entering this prep with just pressure or like,
Other distractions.
yeah, like comparison. Like there's really a empty field and like around me. It's kind of like just that
You only
single.
see you.
It's like this single road like right in front of me, and all we need to do is stay within that road, stay within those perimeters, and very, very easygoing, very plan ahead on a lot of things, very strategized, a little bit more organized, like by the little things, right? So
Yeah.
taking notes of everything, like journaling everything on a daily basis, like not missing a beat. I'm organizing the videos on my camera. Like these are little things that I know it sounds silly, but it's a big step for me to like not be all over the place and kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna be like not only knowing that bodybuilding is very solid to my core, but being kind of organized about it and kind of go the extra mile on this time around, because I just feel like it's gonna be cool maybe in 15 weeks from now to just look back and be like, okay, this is where I started, and I actually have like everything in notes, like
Yeah.
the weight, the food, how I felt, period tracking, like everything kind of like all together
Everything.
in a beautiful like little journal situation on my phone, not on paper. Like I'm kind of like growing a little bit. But I know all of these things sounds very silly right now, but I'm just going
No.
like down into details, into things that like, listen, I'm still learning how to manage things. And I think this prep is going to be extremely different. I'm also, I've spoken to you a little bit about it. I'm also a little bit nervous as where I stand right now in
Okay.
prep because I'm not, I want to say I'm not as muscular and kind of like full as I'm usually am because I'm normally, trained 6, 7 times a week, bursting full, kind of like muscle on top of like the body fat that I'm like off season. So I'm like this like tough girly that like people kind of like look and they're like, oh my God, she's swole. Like she's swole. But I'm like, I'm keeping kind of like my lines a bit smaller. Like I feel like I'm actually smaller,
Yeah.
muscular wise. So the strategy this time around is different. I want to bring myself down a little bit quicker and then kind of like grow into my prep, which I know now that I'm able to do that because when I get leaner psychologically, it drives me into like better, more dynamic workouts. But the adverse effect is also very real. It's like when I lean down, I also already have this muscle. I just want to push out more. So I'm not basing it off like past prep that I just know that right now, like my mental state is like, okay, since I'm a little bit worried, like let's use that worry to bring myself down and then bring myself back up. Like it's kind of like that strategy that we have right now because of my mental state. So instead of like
Yeah.
being negative about it and just like driving into the dirt and just be like, okay, let's do something about that dirty mindset. No, like let's use that mindset. Let's drive me to where I want to be, like psychologically, where we can drive myself back up. But
Yeah.
um finger crossed it works exactly how it's supposed to be. We have some timestamp into the prep that are very clear right now, and I'm very driven into achieving those little milestones that we have in prep. So that's really cool because that's very new. Normally we go very gradually and we go very like 5 minutes of cardio added every week type of thing. But I'm like, let's F this thing. Let's go balls to the walls. Like I'm good. I'm feeling pretty good. Like I'm my normal tired right now. My normal hunger. So all of these things are like very manageable for me, and I'm also wanting to do things. So it's very key to what we were talking about. Wanting to do the program, wanting to do the prep, wanting to do the meal prep, and be like sticking to it. And it's a good feeling, but it's very different. But I'm embracing it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see
No,
week
I
by
think that's
week.
I think that's really good. I like the idea of you kind of going a little bit harder like now instead of kind of like chipping away because you have the energy to do it now, and if you want to kind of push now, then why not? Like give it a go and like push a little bit harder now whilst you have the energy, and then you can always refuel like with refeeds or whatever. I mean, have you ever done that before, or has it always been kind of like small, 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 small
I
as like when
think
you started a prep?
I think it always has been small, 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 and then it would depend like how my body would react. Sometimes like my
Yeah.
body would go overdrive and will be like 9 weeks before, and I'm like, shit, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be like that at all this time because obviously like it's just me and my body, and I'm probably like a little bit of I probably have a little bit of like catabolism like going on because like glutamine cannot save all the gains, like you know what I'm saying.
No.
So I'm just not driving myself into the ground. Like I'm really trying to stay like in homeostasis into like, okay, cardio, I'm doing cardio as much as I can do. Like I'm not pushing myself. I'm staying very consistent, with um 3.5, 3.5, 6 times a week. I if I can do more, I don't really push more though because I know I need to train that. I'm very in sync with what I need to do, and I
Yeah.
don't do more, but I push myself enough.
But it's good
Um,
though because that's the mindset you used to have where it was like, okay, I'm gonna really, really push more
yeah,
and like not almost get too ahead, but it's like you said before, like driving yourself too much into the ground too early. Like now you're like, I know how much I need to do and I'm going to stick with that versus really going like too far. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, like really respecting my calorie intake, like to the T. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry today. Let's use that not hungry day to like not eat. Like I'm also not being
Yeah.
stupid
No.
about it. Like, I'm prepping myself to be in the best position. I think the 12-week mark is going to be extremely important for us, and that's what I'm getting ready for right now. So yes, I'm prepping, but there's obviously little timestamp and milestone, I would say, into this prep that we're really prepared for. So there's little things to look forward to, but the bigger picture obviously is to win this Olympia. Like,
Yeah.
um, which it's so crazy because you would think by now, like there's probably a methodology. Like I'm sure there's, people that won the Olympia before, like I'm talking Jen or Ashley or whatever, they kind of have a methodology that they would go and they would stick to it. And it's crazy to say
Yeah.
that like after 7 back-to-back Olympia, like I'm over here like saying like, oh, this is what we're doing this time. But it's really like the best thing that I can do for me. And that's like, I'm speaking from my gut feeling and my knowledge. And it goes right hand in hand into what Kim's is feeling. And he overthought the process and I'm overthinking the process like fully. And it's not overthinking in a bad way, but just we're gathering like all the data that we can. And I'm like, why not do this? Why not do a gut health test? Why not like I don't have any issues, like knock on wood, but why not knowing more than what we actually know?
Yeah.
I'm probably even gonna get a freaking Apple Watch. Like I was always this girl, like, oh, I'm not gonna do Apple Watch, but
I'm sorry, but stop.
bro,
I literally on my computer right now, I'm going to send you a photo post after this. I have Apple Watches because I was looking at them today. Like, I'm not even BSing you. Like,
that's so crazy.
yeah. Because that
That's
was the
so
exact
crazy.
same. I was like, I want an Apple Watch or something like that's hilarious that you even said that. But you say that about like, Jen has probably like a methodology that they followed and same with Ashley. I don't think like even people at your level, amateur level, wherever, I don't think everyone always says, not every prepper is the same. And the division doesn't change, but obviously our bodies do and how we respond to preps do sometimes. So it's like we have to change our ways. It's sometimes like this time round you've kept your body smaller in your off season, so your prep in general, obviously you don't kind of have to bring down so much to then fill out loads, you know what I mean? So you can kind of
Yeah.
keep the same shape the whole time, so you don't lose too much fullness or keep too much size. But I think and that's your methodology this time round. And I think
Yeah.
Ashley's, for example, to be honest, she obviously spoke about it this weekend to say she wants to be fuller. Like it's like their method, everyone's methodologies. I think going into each show or each Olympia sometimes is different. Like,
Maybe,
and
yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing either, because I also think like sometimes you could do the same thing over and over again, but not get the result that you want. And it's like something will have to change at some point. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's also good to want to know more data as well. I think if it's just the same thing over and over again, sometimes it's just not, I feel like it's sometimes not motivating if it's the same thing over and over. Sometimes when it's something like a little bit new, it's a bit exciting because you're like, okay, cool, like let's see what happens with this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel that I feel the pressure for sure. I feel the
Yeah.
pressure, and it's like pressure on myself mostly because it's the first time that I haven't been like consistently training like a swole and motherfucker. Like I
Yeah.
like a crazy motherfucker. Like I haven't done that this past,
That's good
so
though.
that's very unknown to me. But my only thought is like the rest was so needed, and I know my abilities. I mean, we spoke about that, like knowing your abilities and trusting into your own abilities is two things. Like and I need to trust it, and I know when the time is gonna come. Like obviously, I'm gonna put everything on my side to like, and I have such a good environment right now. Like I have every little pieces like that I need for this prep around to be very successful. So all I need to do is keep that in mind and trusting, the people that I have around me, trusting myself, obviously, which the
Yeah.
trust in myself is very strong. I think that's the strongest thing right now is the trust
Yeah.
with myself because I'm building it with prep right now. Because trusting myself also means that like I'm trusting myself to do this higher cardio at this time in prep. doing different training this time in prep, and the, trusting myself that the best thing is to journal, trusting myself that having that Apple Watch is going to help me when I travel to just stay on track. That's all it's going to be used for. Is literally because I'm not going to be on my same treadmill because I'm not locking myself in. I'm going to travel a little bit. Is that Saturday and Sunday when I'm away, I'm like, okay, I can track my cardio on my watch, but I'm
Yeah.
still going to base it off the machines that I have at the house. So I don't know. That's how I feel right now. It's just every single day is like, okay, let's trust yourself a little bit more today. Let's trust yourself a bit more today, and
Yeah.
and my body, shows up accordingly. Little 5 pound down. Blood work came back. A little bit of inflammation all around, which I need the rest, obviously, because that inflammation came from a training and everything went up. Like liver enzyme
Yeah.
went up, like a white blood cell went up. And that was from one training that I kind of went out of my mind a little bit, cray. And I was sore for like 5 days. And I'm like, all right, here's how your body, hi, Max.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was. He's just giving me my phone back. He's
So
just giving
sweet.
me my phone back. Thank you.
But but yeah, babe, sorry I'm like rambling about everything
No,
because
no,
I'm
no.
I'm
It's
processing it.
good.
I'm honestly processing it at the same time that I'm processing it with you, because there's so much to talk about, but there's so little to talk about. It's really just
Yeah. Because
week
it's the
one.
beginning. It's the beginning. It's like the set off for like the rest of the prep, and I think it's good. I love it because this is going to be used as like a little mini diary, and I honestly am going to refer back to it and be like, remember at like episode 52, and we're going to be on like episode 70, where you're like, you felt like this, and now you're feeling like this. Like it's just nice to refer back to these thoughts because like the thought process is going to change so much in the next couple of
Oh
like
my
months
God.
ahead. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's cool to hear you at the beginning of your prep and saying like, look, this is what we've got going on. This is how we're feeling. And it's good that you have these relationships with yourself before going into a prep. And I remember you saying that's what you wanted. You wanted this Olympia prep to feel like a good, strong start. Like I've got all my shit organized. I've got this going on. I've got this. Like you wanted that. And I think that's good that you kept the promise to yourself, because I
Oh,
think sometimes it's
yeah.
like, it's hard though, because life happens, life goes on, and sometimes things are hectic. But I think that's good as well, because this is, the big dogs leagues, the big dog league. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to hear and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think this is going
Yeah.
to be a very successful prep for you. I think it's going to be exciting, especially because, like you said, you've kept everything like nice and tight this off season and said like, look, I don't want to go too crazy with training and stuff like that because I don't need to put on that size. I need to keep like a little bit smaller. And I mean, obviously you said mindset wise, it's like, it's been tough for you, but do you think in prep you won't mind it as much? Or will you think, do you know what I mean? Do you think the mindset will be different where, there'll be some days in prep you're like, I really want to train hard? Or do you think you'll just get over it and you'll be like, it's prep, I need to just do it now?
Um, no, I think I'm ready to be like smart about
Yeah.
it fully. It's not saying that I've been an idiot before, but
No.
I'm very emotional. Let's be
Yeah.
real. I'm a very emotional, sensitive person. Like Kim always says it. He's like, that's, the best thing about you, and it could also be the worst thing about you. Like, and he didn't say the worst thing because is also like very positive, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm sure he's trying to say. Like, you're a very sensitive person, Lauralie. I'm like, yes, absolutely. But I think sometimes it's it made me not think with my head, and it hasn't served me purpose at
Yeah.
all. So I'm very clear minded. I feel very, very brain like right now. Like I feel like I have all my brain.
Yeah,
It's
you're
great.
thinking through. Yeah, you're thinking through everything here versus it being like, no, I want to do this. Like, I want to train like this, but like, there's certain things that you can't
But
do.
also
Like,
like not like being driven by like self-sabotage stuff. Like of like,
no,
oh, I need to be da da da. Like it's I have my little moments of like little, oh, hesitate. I'm not sure. Like I'm not gonna look good at the Olympia. It's so crazy to think like that when I'm like literally 18 weeks out,
yeah, no,
and girl, it's like everybody around. I've proven myself so many times, and it's like I need to look back on those facts. Same thing with you. Like sometimes we just need to fact check ourselves. It's like you've done so much. Like I've done so much. It's like, being aware of obviously what we have now, my age, how long I've been doing it, but what I've done in the past, it's so crazy. Like we've done so much, like prepping while we're working, like crazy and traveling and all this stuff. Like we're so blessed.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
100%. No, I
Yeah.
think it's good. And I think those thoughts will always start to creep in about, self-doubt and like, will I look good? I don't know. Like they'll always start, like, I always feel like they do come about at the beginning because you then, when you start to overanalyze, obviously all the details and think about everything, you then start to also think about the other side, like, will I be ready? Will I look good on stage? Will I be this? But you just have to kick those emotions out like immediately and just be like, one, it's way too early to tell. Two, I'm doing everything I need to. And like we said before, like trusting your own abilities and what you're capable of, because you've done this a million times and you've never not looked great. You need to just kind of remember that as well and like give yourself some grace and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think everyone's excited. Like I'm excited for you. Everyone's so excited to see Grace the Sage again. So I think
Oh,
like it's going to be a great one. Like regardless, it's going to be
hell
an
yeah.
amazing one, which we
No,
can't wait
it's
for.
yeah, it's gonna be a dope ass Olympia. Like either way, there's so many things I look forward to. A lot of good stuff, with my sponsor. Like it's just all around. It's gonna be like a really dope next 7 weeks, 17 weeks that I look forward to, and the goal is very clear, very very clear. It's also not crowded. Like I don't feel like there's eyes on me. It's very long. Like I'm very alone
Yeah,
on this
you
path right
feel
now.
this. Yeah.
Yes, I feel this, but also with all the support. I don't know how to explain it. It's just good.
No,
It's just
I know what you mean, where
it's not
it
like a
just
dark
feels,
path. It's not a dark path.
yeah,
It's very lit up, but it's like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I'll
I
find
think it's
words to
good.
explain it. Yeah. I
That's what
hope
you
it's
want
good.
though.
I really hope it's good because it does feel really good. Yeah, it does feel really good. So we'll see.
That's how
We'll
it
see.
should be. That's
Yeah,
how it should
I
be.
really think that's how it should be. So hopefully we're finally getting a prep that it's how it should be and it's successful, and then I can actually talk about it and see like, hey, here's a secret. Like you
Yeah.
need to know yourself enough. You need to be smart about it. You need to trust the plan. You need to trust the people around you. And I actually have maybe like a more like scientific base of like, here's how you should prep. A to
Yeah.
Z.
This
You
is what
know?
this is what it is. Done.
I
So
hope finally, but
yeah.
who knows?
But anyway, it was nice to have a first good episode. It's a short one, but it's a nice and sweet one. And we're excited to kind of be back on our game and stuff like that. And if you don't already, follow us on Patreon or subscribe to our Patreon. Get on it. The link is in the description box below. We're going to be a lot more specific over there. And if there is any questions that you have for me or Lauralie, we're going to kind of do like a new segment maybe in the next episode and kind of answer your guys' questions a little bit more of and just be more in depth with what you want to hear from us and stuff like
Yes.
that. But we're back.
Period.
We are back,
Period.
baby.
Thank you,
Yeah.
babe. I feel like I spoke so much about myself.
No.
I hate it here, but that was a
No.
good processing thing. I also think I need to invest again in a therapist because I obviously need it. Like
Babe, I'm your
that's just the proof,
therapist. Let's be
babe. That's
honest.
just
I
the
am your
proof.
therapist.
I need someone. Like I need someone to talk to because this is
I'm
so
your
bad.
therapist. I'm absolutely fine. I am okay to take that role on this year.
Girl,
That's my job
you're
role
too
and my
good.
job only. My job
You're
role only. So, but we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
see you in the next one, guys.